Hello, Jacob here. And today, thought I'd quick do, well, sort of a multi-part video, I guess, for lack of a better term. And, yeah. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, yeah. First things first, the Minnesota Vikings will be taking on the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore on Sunday at noon Central Time. And, well, I'd be lying if I said I had a good feeling about this game, but it, I mean, I really don't know at this point because the Vikings at this point are a prove it to me team because again I've heard so much talk over the last few weeks it's enough to make anyone go absolutely crazy because again we let Cooper Rush literally throw all over us last week and our defense could as I mentioned before our defense did as good as they could but good God our offense couldn't do anything with the turnovers we had and yeah. I think that's pretty much all I got to say there about that. But anyway, moving on to this game here. I know the Ravens have had a lot of issues of their own with injuries, and like pretty much every other week, someone major goes down due to injury or COVID or something. So, I mean, they still have Lamar Jackson, which, I mean, kind of reminds me of the old Michael Vick days. As long as you have Lamar Jackson or, someone like that, you have hope, regardless of how bad your team is on paper or this or that or the other thing. But again, at this point, as a Vikings fan, this late in the season, with all the stuff that I've been hearing this year, it's just prove it to me. Prove to me that you can do anything at this point because, golly gee, it's frustrating. Week in and week out, having expectations only to fall flat on our freaking faces. And, yeah, it's basically all I got to say there. But, again, I'm just going to watch this game on Sunday with no expectations, basically, because yeah, didn't I mention that being a sports fan is insanity? Literally the textbook definition of insanity is being a sports fan because most of us, especially teams that, especially the Vikings in general, it's just like insanity. The definition of insanity is literally doing the exact same thing week in and week out or over and over again and expecting a different result. And at this point, this Vikings team is insanity, and it is frustrating, and frankly, it just pisses me off. But again, what else is new here? It's just stale, stagnant, the same stuff where, I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of hoping they just blow it up and say fuck it, but we'll see here because there's still a lot of season left, and, well, as I will mention here in a little bit, oh boy. I don't usually like to, spread gossip about the Packers or anything like that. Especially because the Packers are 7-1, but oh boy. Well, kind of wrapping up the Vikings portion of this, and like I say, I will do a recap of this game on a Sunday afterwards, but yeah, again, we'll just wait and see, but holy crap, Aaron Rodgers news. Again, whatever your political beliefs are, whatever you believe in COVID, coronavirus, all that stuff, if you believe it's a hoax or this or that or the other thing, but granted, it'll be interesting to see here because Jordan Love will be getting that start this week, and, against a Chiefs defense that is, well, let's just say, makes the Vikings look like the 85 fucking Bears. So, hey, Jesus. But again, the Chiefs, that's another team that's kind of interesting to view this year because, wow, you want to talk about a fall from fucking grace there. Holy crap. But anyway, that's just the NFL for you. there's parody all over the place here, but yeah, I mean, the whole thing with Rodgers and your political beliefs or this or that or whatever, but again, with that sort of thing there, it's just, I'm going to say like my one or two things here and then I'll call it a day because frankly, it's annoying, exhausting, and just, I don't know. It's just, it's more of a powder keg than anything because, I mean, yeah, sure, I have opinions on this, but at the end of the day, what good does it do for me, you know? I mean, even if something were to happen, even if the Packers, have to go with Jordan Love for the rest of the year because they suspend Rodgers for whatever reason, you know? I mean, it's not like the Vikings are going to fucking do anything anyway because, good God, we can't get out of our own fucking way at this point. It's just, So what good is it if, yeah, sure, they may lose all their games, but if we can't fucking win and we can't capitalize on anything, what's the point? But again, I'm not going to go into exactly all the details and all that stuff just because, again, it's exhausting at this point. Frankly, I'm just sick of this shit. It's just exhausting. So, for me, I'm just going to watch the games, follow what's going on, and yeah. I mean, again, it's hard, just having a blind eye to all this because, again, well, it's kind of everywhere at this point, and it has been everywhere for the last 12, 16, 18 months at this point, but again, politics are the devil in my opinion just because it splits everybody apart more than it actually brings people together to want to change anything, but again, I'm not going to really get into that as much as I want to or feel I should or whatever you want to say here, but yeah. So yeah, like I say, stay tuned for my Sunday recap video because even though this team does make me want to drink into, it makes me want to drink because, well, if you're a Vikings fan, let's just say there's a reason why Minnesota has as much beer and breweries and all that stuff as it does because, good God, you got to get through this somehow, but yeah. And like I say, kind of, wrapping this whole random yapping video all together here, it's just, again, the Vikings have all the tools to win this game. Will they, though? That remains to be seen because we could have very easily won most, if not all, the games we were down in, but so yeah, pretty much wraps up exactly what I feel there, but I mean, like I say, a lot of these issues just aren't gonna, magically poof with, without something happening one way or the other. It's just, again, it's frustrating. I mean, this whole what's going on in the world is frustrating. So this is as much me ranting about what's going on in the world as it is ranting about how bad the Vikings make me want to, drink myself. But again, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just sports. It's just, there's a lot worse things going on in the world, and there's a lot more people going through a lot more stuff than, just watching their favorite team week in and week out not living up to their expectations. But, again, that basically wraps up what I have to say about this whole stuff. And again, I kind of hope I don't have to say anything more about this, but yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of shit going on in this world, especially the Henry Ruggs situation, which I'm not even going to touch with a 10-foot pole there, but just know that what he did, he's going to be living with these consequences long after any sort of justice is brought down. But again, 150 miles an hour. Killing a young lady for no fucking reason other than you're just being a dumbass. But, yeah, I mean, again, it just, there's just so much of this shit out there where it's just, I don't know. I mean, Yeah, sure, I've definitely had a few, just kind of unwinding and all that stuff because God knows this week has been anything but, usual or kind or whatever the hell you want to say here. But good golly, Miss Molly, has this just been, these last few weeks in sports in general have just been, oh boy. So, but yeah, basically kind of wrapping this up. Shout out to Throwback King and all that stuff. Again, thanks for shouting me out in your live there on the Kings of Throwback page for Facebook. And yeah, decided to kind of change my YouTube channel name from Jake's199456 to Jake's the Minnesota Sports Fan, just because, well, that's sort of how I'm kind of rebranding myself, because when I made my channel originally, that was long before I actually really uploaded or did anything to the channel, but I figured my new name actually sums up what I do and all that stuff, and, again, at the time with my name being Jake and Jacob and all that stuff, it's a pretty popular name. I don't know if you know that, but, so, again, thanks for everyone that, watches me week in, week out, video in and video out and all that stuff. And like I say, I love following all these guys too, and I love just doing this stuff. Even if one person watches, nobody watches, or a million people watch, it's just fun for me to just come on here and just kind of, do what I do, basically. And yeah, so that'll basically kind of wrap this video up. As I mentioned a few times before, we'll just, stay tuned for all that stuff, because I'll be sure to give you my post-game thoughts and just kind of overall thoughts in the sports world in general, because, again, I have a feeling this, these next few days, weeks, months, I mean, the world is just going to get crazier with all the stuff that's going on in it, and that's just the world in general, so. But yeah, again, till we meet again, this is Jacob, and have a good night.